I remember when I went to Saudi Arabia a couple of years back. So हम वो रूम से जा रहे तो मैं एसी उसको ऑफ कर रहा हूँ, and my mother was like बेटा यहाँ टेंशन नहीं होती इस चीज की ये बस बहुत बिजली है.
Real challenge that we are facing, it is from the manufacturing side because of all the import bans and everything, the
Hmm.
thread cost, the fabric imports, it's getting affected a lot.
Hmm.
But when we talk about the large scale manufacturers and vendors, they do figure out a way.
There are two things that I have seen a dearth of in Pakistan. One is consumer service, and the other and the other is data collection.
We talk numbers and now. If there is
Mm-hmm.
no numbers in the conversation, then we really don't care about what you are saying.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. This is Ammaar bin Saleem. Welcome to another episode of Out Loud with Ammaar. Today, we are recording another episode for season 3, and we have a very distinguished guest join us today for this conversation. I've been joined by Miss Maliha Noor, who is the head of growth and is also a founding member at LAAM. I'd call it a one-stop solution for all the fashion apparel purchasing for the final consumer in Pakistan. Is a leading startup company, I'd say, has become a household name everywhere. Everybody knows what LAAM is. So let's welcome Miss Maliha. Maliha, assalamu alaikum.
Welcome, Sam. Thank you, Amar, for such a detailed introduction.
So, Maliha, before we dive into the world of LAAM and what your role at LAAM is and how LAAM has actually evolved into a bigger brand today, as I mentioned, it has become a household name. And we were just sharing a story right before the beginning of this podcast. So let's first talk about yourself. So born and bred in Lahore.
Yeah. I am. I was born in Saudi Arabia, and I am
Okay.
raised in Lahore.
So you're a Saudi kid.
Yeah, I'm a Saudi kid.
अच्छा तो वो how what was that like मतलब were your parents posted there या किस तरह से?
Yeah, my father worked in Saudi for almost 30 years. So yeah, I was born there, and then for education and stuff, I had to move back because back then there was no schools or education institute there in Saudi. So we had to come
Wow.
here for studies and etc. things.
So you must be in your O levels metric at that time जब वापस आए.
Yeah, metric.
अच्छा तो and what was that like मतलब सारा टाइम सऊदी से गुजारने के बाद मतलब आई बिलीव कि मेट्रिक जो ऐसा टाइम होता है कि बड़ा क्रूशल होता है आपकी जिंदगी में. सो उस टाइम पे वापस आना, डिड यू आई मीन व्हाट सॉर्ट ऑफ अ डिफरेंस वाज दैट लाइक?
That was a lot different because in Saudi, it's more of a world that you don't really know the actual issues of the society, of world. It's a very
ऑफ द
fantasy world.
पाकिस्तानी सोसाइटी और द होल वर्ल्ड?
The whole world. Everyone is living in like 24/7 ACs, just going to beaches and malls, and there is no like real worry for Saudis and Sheikh's life. So coming back to Pakistan was the first thing that hit me the most was load shedding. Back then it was happening a lot, and when I came back to
Which year
my
was
father's
that?
house, it was back in 2013.
Oh my god, the nightmare years of load shedding, I'd say.
So when I came back, it was like summers in Pakistan.
Yeah.
And spending a month here, I was like crying to go back. Calling my father, I have to come back and figure out everything there. हो सकता है कुछ private institution हो, कुछ हो, just figure out. I have to go back.
आई एम श्योर मतलब वाकई अच्छा सऊदी में भी मतलब इट्स क्वाइट वार्म, मतलब वहाँ पे गर्मी काफी ज्यादा होती है मगर इट्स क्वाइट मैनेजेबल बिकॉज वहाँ पे एज यू मेंशन 24/7 एसीज हैं तो आपको कभी वो फिक्र होती ही नहीं है. तो वो हमारा वैसे भी मुझे आई रिमेम्बर व्हेन आई वेंट टू सऊदी अरेबिया कपल ऑफ इयर्स बैक. सो हम वो रूम से जा रहे तो मैं एसी उसको ऑफ कर रहा हूँ, एंड माय मदर वाज लाइक बेटा यहाँ टेंशन नहीं होती इस चीज की ये बस बहुत बिजली है.
The same, even when we were used to go to Medina or Makkah for Umrah and stuff, तब आपको पता लगता था कि बाहर क्या temperature और क्या गर्मी है because of all the travel that you have to do.
या
Other than this, I mean, we never knew कि अच्छा बाहर क्या temperature चल रहा है. It's
और
normal
पाकिस्तान में
for
आके तो फिर आपको बहुत अच्छी तरीके से पता चला होगा कि बाहर क्या टेम्परेचर है.
Oh yeah, Pakistan was for the first initial quarter, 3 months, 4 months was a nightmare. But then I gradually started adjusting
हम्म.
into the new environment,
हम्म.
people connection, and everything. Because in Saudi, when we were living there, there were no as such big communities
Mm-hmm.
of Pakistanis there, so we don't exactly used to have friends. I had Jordanian friends, Egyptian friends, but not like Pakistani. So when we came here, it was good to make connection with people. People in Pakistan are more friendlier than abroad. So you
एब्सोल्युटली एब्सोल्युटली बिल्कुल मतलब कहीं भी आप पाकिस्तान से बाहर चले जाओ आपको एटलीस्ट वो एक वार्मथ जो है वो शायद हर बंदे को अपने मुल्क के साथ होता है लेकिन आपको पाकिस्तान एज अ पाकिस्तानी जरूर फील होता है कि यार आई हैव टू गो बैक टू पाकिस्तान.
yeah, that I realized when I came back.
हाउ डिड यू डिसाइड कि मैंने जो है फैशन में और अपैरल साइड पे जो है जाना है मैंने मतलब वर यू लाइक एब्सोल्युटली सर्टेन कि मेरा यही होगा एंड हाउ डिड यू गेट स्टार्ट इन दिस इंडस्ट्री.
That's a journey rather than an event. एक इवेंट होता है कि आपका कहीं पे इंटरव्यू होता है और आपकी वहाँ पे जॉब हो जाती है वो. My is a whole journey. I
ओके.
am not from a fashion or a mass media or anything as such background. My MPhil and my graduation is in political science and slash IR background.
ओके.
So I am a huge fan of Marxism ideology. When I met RF, Amir, the co-founders at LAAM, so the idea of bringing fashion under one roof, making it accessible for everyone in every budget range,
हम्म.
democratizing it for everyone, what
हम्म.
made me excited. When we say word fashion, it always represents the niche class. By niche, I remember my history lesson of French Revolution famous quote, let them eat cake if they don't have bread. So I was very, and being a Marxist fan, that used to hit me a lot. So my motivation and connection with LAM is more to democratize fashion. When we talk about every budget range, when we talk about
हम्म.
everyone buying from everywhere, so it's more of a democratization connection that I have.
लाइक मेकिंग इट एक्सेसिबल यानी जिस बंदे ने भी लेना है उसको आप फिल्टर्स लगाओ एंड इन योर ओन प्राइस ब्रैकेट यू विल फाइंड समथिंग.
You'll find something. You'll find, for example, if there is a bridal jura, you can
हम्म.
find 2 million ka bridal jura on LAM, and
हम्म.
also you can find 50,000 bridal jura on LAM too. So
हम्म.
it's a huge, vast range of variety that LAM offers for everyone, depending what colors do you like, depending what color do you like, depending what designer do you want. If it's
हम्म.
non-designer, then there's still a very vast variety on
हम्म.
LAM can purchase. So it's not like okay, it's very buying a designer jura is very a niche label anymore.
राइट.
You can buy a brand or a designer from LAM in a very much cheaper rate.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, all right. So, Maliha, we'll expand on that later as well. But for now, I have a very interesting question for you because this has been popping up in my mind for the longest time, and I've been discussing within my family as well. कि यार ये किस किस्म का नाम है? मतलब what does the term "laam" signify? इससे बनता क्या है?
So the brand name, that's an interesting story. Arif, our founder at LAM and CEO at LAM, his daughter name is Lamia, and they call her Lam as nickname. So we have a name that is closer to Arif's heart, Lam.
Okay. अच्छा 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 अच्छा. So that's what the story is. All right. So it has been making a huge impact across Pakistan. We should let Arif's daughter know that. But for now, अच्छा, I have another question जो कि मैंने I remember मैंने ELO के उमर जो हैं CEO उनके साथ भी क्वेश्चन किया था and I asked him और टेलीमार्ट के साथ भी जब हमने ये इस तरह का एक पॉडकास्ट किया था तो I asked him the same question कि दराज was your biggest competitor in the market और दराज के साथ साथ आपने टेलीमार्ट बना दिया इसी तरह और भी बहुत सारे फैशन ब्रांड्स और आपने इस किस्म की चीज़ बना दी. आई अंडरस्टैंड कि काफी सारे फैशन अपैरल स्टोर्स जो हैं वो ऑनलाइन भी हैं दे हैव ऑलरेडी गॉन वर्चुअल सो हाउ डिड यू डिसाइड हाउ डिड लाम डिसाइड कि यार देयर इज स्टिल सम स्पेस इन द मार्केट जिसको हम क्लब करके सब फैशन ब्रांड्स को इकट्ठे वी कैन स्टिल सर्व द नीड्स ऑफ द मार्केट.
So the main, you may say, the pain point of customer when we were, because we were in fashion industry before LAM, we had a digital marketing agency called Succel where we
हम्म.
were handling all the designers and everything. So one pain point that we realized from the customer point of view was the reliable purchase, was the accuracy
Okay.
of delivery timelines, people asking for when will they get the Jora delivered and
Mm-hmm.
everything. Uh, and even the customization in terms of budget ranges
Yeah.
and variety as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if I sum it up, why LAAM, that would be like there are in the whole world there are like 1.5 billion people who love South Asian fashion. Yet there is no single platform that enables the easy discovery and the reliable purchase for the consumer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if I have to summarize why LAM, that would be from two words. One would be the discovery because of 90,000 plus products
Mm-hmm.
available at LAM.
Mm-hmm.
And second would be the reliability. When we say if you have experience to be ordered from LAM, you
Mm-hmm.
can see the delivery date, estimated shipping date written
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
page. So the reliability of what LAM is committing will be delivered at your doorstep anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the
So
world.
that
अच्छा
would.
so what do you think कि मतलब क्या इस तरह से अभी भी मतलब like होता है मतलब जब हम ऑनलाइन कुछ भी मंगवा रहे होते हैं there's this one bit in me मतलब अभी तक हालांकि मेरा ख्याल है one of the most avid users of technology in Pakistan. So लेकिन मेरे मेरे पास अभी भी जो है ना मुझे थोड़ा सा डाउट होता है कि whatever I'm gonna order the company is going to mess it up somehow. So
Yeah.
क्या वो चीज़ have you factored that in as well कि यार मतलब ये चीज़ ना हो.
In our early days, when LAM started, we were experiencing this reliability a lot issue
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because a lot of the time vendor was committing delivery date, yet it was not delivered.
Okay.
Few times there were color difference and everything. So when we started growing, we know that this is the thing that we will take serious, the commitment to the consumer, our promise to the consumer that what they order, they will get the same dress
Okay.
at the exact timeline that is delivered to them, that is committed to them. So in initial days, we were facing a lot of difficulties in getting the vendors aligned and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eventually, it started coming all together because we were doing the right thing. We were pushing for the right thing, and when
Mm-hmm.
vendor saw the numbers, the sale numbers coming in from that reliability,
Mm-hmm.
then everything started to be streamlined more than we expected.
ओके अच्छा सो यानी कि बेसिकली वो वाला हमेशा से जो एक डाउट होता है कंज्यूमर का वो रहा और वो आया भी मगर उसके बाद मतलब यू वर एबल टू सक्सेसफुली एड्रेस दोस कंसर्न्स
Yeah,
एट योर एंड.
we were. Yeah. So when we talk about LAM, it's not just it's just a fashion marketplace.
हम्म.
It's a I would say a fashion tech product. So
ओके.
anything that we do it from a tech point of view. We do it from RF himself, a co-founder at LAM, is an engineer. He has worked in Facebook, Bing, and everything. And our head of engineering, Ahmed, he is from Oracle, Microsoft. So when we started building this product, we were like, this should be scalable for thousands of people across the globe. So a lot of the things which you may say can be missed in manual calculations, manual QC and everything was taken by the technologies that we were building, was taken by the NPS control that we were building, was
हम्म.
taken by the consumer feedback, and actually making analysis on the consumer feedbacks, making changes in our policies, making changes in our vendor onboarding QC protocols and everything. So
हम्म.
that has helped us like growing this into this dimension.
Right. अच्छा and as you mentioned कि आपके पास you have a wide variety of vendors coming in. You have a wide variety of apparel products being available to the consumers. So what is the process of that कि मतलब किस तरह से एक vendor को जो है on board किया जाता है. Are there any checks या वो सब चीज़ें जो है how do you ensure कि यार वो quality भी ना sacrifice हो but at the same time the variety is also quite widespread.
So we do have a business development team in our company. So what our business development team does is to analyze their production facility,
Mm-hmm.
QC of the product.
Mm-hmm.
No vendor can go live on LAAM without the QC of products.
Mm-hmm.
That quality check is a detailed quality check by actual fashion graduates who can actually check what's the thread and everything, thread count, etc. And then there is a
Like
whole
मतलब they would go to that vendors like मतलब जो भी उनका shop वगैरह wherever they're operating from, they would go and they would like physically, examine the products.
It happens both way. Sometimes the team goes into their facilities, and sometimes we get the product into our facility
Okay.
to QC it, and we
Right.
pick the products like randomly to choose it. And
Mm-hmm.
then, as I said, for a technology-driven product, we do have certain thresholds for the products to be sold on LAM. So when you are a
Mm.
new vendor, there is a certain limit to the orders that you can take. Until you deliver those products, we check the NPS to those products, and then you can take more orders. So it works more like a credit card limit. So you spend, you pay the bill, then
Okay.
the spending limit gets increased. So it works like that.
And there's a regulator on top, which in this situation is LAM.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is the way to manage it because अगर आप उसको इस तरह से भी कर दो यार कि आपके पास ऑर्डर आई जा रहे हैं and then you are not delivering, then it becomes a supply chain disaster. और मेरा ख्याल है कि एक फैशन अपैरल या मतलब इस तरह का जो एक वर्चुअल मॉल है उसके लिए सबसे बड़ा डिजास्टर उसके ब्रांड इमेज के लिए यही है कि अगर उसकी सप्लाई चेन ना मैनेज हो रही हो.
Yeah, and supply chain is a huge pain point in the whole industry. No
हम्म.
one is, when we started developing our supply chain in a very systematic manner, we realized that no one is following any system around. People are still actually using the purchase system, उसके ऊपर टेपें लगाई हुई हैं, उसके ऊपर order number लिखा हुआ है. And when we went into huge volumes, that पर्चियाँ and everything
फिर तो वो नहीं
became
चलता.
it wasn't scalable. So we had to figure out a solution, a scalable solution. Our warehouse, our supply chain system
Yeah.
is, I can say it, is to be considered one of the best systems in Pakistan right now.
Right now, अच्छा मुझे मलिहा एक मुझे बात बताएं. This question is something that bothers me. Bothers me in the sense के काफ़ी सारे ऐसे brands आपके उस पे हैं जो कि already they have their own virtual outlets as well, so they are selling directly to the consumer. And if they are selling at the same price as they are having their products sold through your website, उसी price पे अगर कर रहे हैं, so where does LAM's cut come from? वो फिर किस तरह से determine होता है?
LAM's cut in terms of margins or
In
LAM
terms of
cuts in
margins,
terms
of
of.
course, revenues.
Okay, so LAM's work on a commission model.
Mm-hmm.
So that happens as whenever we work with a vendor, there is a commission decided, mutually agreed. The contract gets signed, and then when we are selling, we get commission on every sale that we make for the vendor.
Okay, अच्छा. So वो basically commission जो है वो already ही pre-decided होता है with the vendor. All
Yeah.
right, all right, all right. So उसमें कोई variations वगैरह होती हैं कि if a vendor has this many items placed in your on your shop तो उसका percentage ज़्यादा होगा या कम होगा मतलब does it go like that? Is there a fixed?
It's a fixed amount that gets decided on the time of onboarding. So when you
Mm-hmm.
are onboarded, there is a whole process of contract signing, business validation, tax, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets defined at the start of the business.
Right, right, right. Acha, Maliha, let's take an overarching view of the industry and in the backdrop of whatever has been happening in Pakistan, coming close to the horrors of going bankrupt, having only $3 billion in the state bank और इसके साथ साथ जो इंडस्ट्रीज का जो इम्पैक्ट पड़ रहा है सबसे ज़्यादा मुझे लगता है इंडस्ट्री जो इम्पैक्ट हो रही है उनमें से एक टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री भी है जहाँ से सारे ये
Yeah.
प्रोडक्ट्स वगैरह जो है बन रहे हैं. सो हाउ डू यू सी कि जब हम इस किस्म की न्यूज़ सुनते हैं कि यार टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री जो है वो बंद हो रही है या ये सब चीज़ें वहाँ पे हो रही हैं, हाउ डू यू सी इट्स इम्पैक्ट ऑन द फाइनल कंज्यूमर एंड द बिजनेसेस लाइक योर्स एंड ऑल्सो द बिजनेसेस जिनके जो फैशन अपैरल बना रहे हैं या जिस तरह ब्राइडल्स वगैरह बना रहे हैं. सो हाउ डू यू सी कि उसका ओवरऑल जो इम्पैक्ट है उसका ट्रिकल डाउन किस तरह से इफेक्ट कैसे आ रहा है?
If I were to address this question from two ends, the one is the demand side from the consumer, and the second is the production side from the vendor side. If I talk about the consumer demand side, our analysis so far, there has been no purchasing dip in terms of purchases. Although the average order value has decreased a bit, people are
Okay.
buying clothes before. They are buying crazily as before, but more in the cheaper range. So people are just avoiding the heavier amount. Other than that, it's working fine. The
Mm-hmm.
real challenge that we are facing it is from the manufacturing side because of all the import bans and everything, the thread
Mm-hmm.
cost, the fabric imports. It's getting affected a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But when we talk about the large scale manufacturers and vendors, they do figure out a way. Let me put it that way. But for the small vendors, yes, there are the import bans and duties that are hurting them. But that is a start to developing the local um, industries if the import is banned.
अच्छा चलें वो तो सही हो गया ठीक है और वो भी ये कि चलें ठीक है दे आर फिगरिंग आउट अ वे एंड दे कैन पुश द इफेक्ट फॉरवर्ड टू द कंज्यूमर और वो जो है वो आगे सारा बेयर करेगा बट नाउ देयर दिस वन इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन के हाउ डू यू थिंक पीपल आर स्टिल एबल टू बाय मतलब इस सिचुएशन में how do you think people still have money as you yourself mentioned कि people are still buying crazily तो कैसे हो रहा है मुझे समझ नहीं आ रही मतलब लाइक हम उस पर डिस्कस कर रहे थे यार टिम हॉर्टन्स के बाद बड़ी जबरदस्त किस्म की लाइन थी हालांकि पाकिस्तान बैंकरप्ट हो रहा है how are people still ordering that much?
I think people figure out their budgeting, right? When if I have to come to office daily to earn, to make my career successful, or do anything, then I need clothes to wear every day, of course. And being a woman, I really don't like repeating it. So, if I have a budget constraint, I would still go for cheaper options, but I would buy clothes. If I don't have a budget constraint, then I would go for high-end designers and everything.
Hmm.
But people do figure out their budgeting, I guess. And in the world that we are living for, a lot of the time in Pakistan, we
Hmm.
always talk about basic needs, roti kapra
Yeah.
makan se bhai.
Yeah.
But as working in LAAM, when I see people are able to buy their wants, not just their needs, from LAAM at the affordable ranges,
Yeah. Yeah.
that like if you want to buy 1200 1300 ka joda from LAAM, you can buy it. We
Hmm.
do have that. So that's empowering when you see people buying.
Yeah.
And apart from roti kapra makan, they are also able to fulfill their wants.
Hmm.
That's a positive sign. I would say so.
And matlab, the kind of feeling that you would have, the blood rush, because you are the one making it possible for them to be able to buy these clothing items within at a very affordable price, and that's something that you don't see happening every time. Plus मुझे तो लगता है कि there's also consumer psychology working at the back, यानी कि अगर आपको लगता है कि यार if I have only 2000 rupees, so then I wouldn't walk into a Sana Safina's because I know there's nothing over there, but at least when I could go to a virtual mall, मैं देख तो लूंगा वहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है और मैं आगे मतलब I would have a I would have a huge landscape कि मैं यार देख सकता हूँ कि मैंने क्या सिलेक्ट करना है मैंने आगे मतलब मैं एटलीस्ट एग्जामिन तो कर सकता हूँ उस चीज को
And even not from the buying perspective only, for discovery perspective, what is in trend in fashion, what's going to be a trend 5 years down 5 months down the road. You can see a lot of products coming in. I remember I was in an interview with a girl who said that I was like using LAAM as my discovery platform when I was making my shadi ke kapde. Although I was not buying from you because वो designer थे जो मैं देख रही थी and I wanted to get in a cheaper range. So,
या
uh, but I still felt very great when she said that she used LAM as a discovery purpose
हम्म
to actually discover the fashion trends that are in trend in current time.
और मेरा ख्याल है इसको भी डिस्काउंट नहीं किया जा सकता कि हमारे जैसे हमारे मुल्क में हम कहते हैं ना कि यार एक रीज़न जो पाकिस्तान बैंकरप्ट नहीं हो रहा उसकी एक बहुत बड़ी रीज़न ये भी है कि पाकिस्तान की जो अनडॉक्यूमेंटेड इकोनॉमी है दैट्स बिगर देन द डॉक्यूमेंटेड इकोनॉमी इन पाकिस्तान सो पीपल स्टिल हैव लॉट्स ऑफ रिसोर्सेज saved up in cash and then they can use those to buy anything and that's one of the reasons Pakistan is not going bankrupt So at the same time,
Yeah.
मेरा ख्याल है हम इस चीज को भी negate नहीं कर सकते, but there are so many brands that have now come into play. At the same time, we have traditional conventional people setting up their shops, producing remarkable work. वो लाहौर में भी नजर आ जाएगा, कराची में नजर आ जाएगा, लाहौर में इसलिए क्योंकि हम सबको पता है दुबट्टा गली वगैरह में, there are brilliant people sitting over there. So what I have seen is कि
Yeah.
मतलब खवातीन जो है वो ये करती हैं कि वो स्नैपशॉट्स लेके they have those designs replicated through these vendors.
Yeah.
तो आई थिंक डिस्कवरी वाला एलिमेंट वहां पे जो था, उसको उसको भी शायद मुझे लगता है कि थोड़ा सा हमने टेक इनेबल्ड कर दिया.
And when we talk about LAAM being one stop shop and one umbrella, we also do talk about the vendors. When we
हम्म.
are talking the vendors that are coming on board, we realize they are not that tech savvy to expand their
हम्म.
business. They are selling in the local market since 10 years, a decade, 11 years, 12 years, but they are unable to make even a Facebook page to sell their products.
या
So when we sell their products, for example, a lady sitting in Canada and US, they feel good about that. And we also feel good about our local artisans getting the representation of what they deserve.
एग्जैक्टली, मतलब द काइंड ऑफ रिप्रेजेंटेशन दैट पाकिस्तानीज डू डिजर्व. मुझे जैसे हम वो कहा करते थे कि यार पाकिस्तान के प्रोडक्ट्स जो हैं वो पाकिस्तान जो है वो सेकेंडरी सेक्टर में तो नजर आता है, मगर टर्शियरी सेक्टर में वो जनरली वही चीजें हमारी ही होती हैं, उसको ब्रांड कर देते हो और वो उस पे जो है 400-500 टाइम्स प्रॉफिट कमा रहे होते हैं, जो कि हम कमा सकते थे जस्ट बिकॉज वी आर नॉट दैट फेमस इन टर्म्स ऑफ दोज ब्रांड्स. तो आई थिंक इट्स नॉट जस्ट बिजनेस, इट्स समथिंग दैट्स वेरी नोबल एज वेल. Okay, so Maliha, so what's your role at LAAM? You're serving, as I mentioned, as head of growth. So what does growth look like for LAAM? What has it so far looked like for LAAM, and what are your aspirations now?
So growth has been exponential, if I let me put it that way. As far as what I handle at LAM, I
Mm-hmm.
handle a lot of the things under single umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
That is an acquisition department, that is a digital marketing, ads, inbound marketing, outbound marketing. Then we have a vertical growth team because LAM is divided into different verticals. So that's a category manager role, if I simplified. Then we have a data catalog and system engineering. Data catalog is the team responsible for the 90,000 product sanity at LAM, and system engineering for all the systems running. A vendor, because our partners are fully autonomous. So
Mm-hmm.
anything that they need or support for the tech help, system engineering is there for them. Then we have a business excellence team, which is a operational excellence and a process excellence team. As LAM is growing from a startup to Alhamdulillah now 250 plus people, a lot of processes and systems are needed in
250
place.
plus, mashallah.
Yeah. So process excellence and operation excellence team looks over the policies,
Mm-hmm.
the process systems in the company, outside the company, vendor policies, customer policies, and everything. So to sum it up, everything that is related to the demand or consumer side of the picture, I look into that.
Okay, right, right. So it's not just one thing. I think it's almost everything that you're looking after. But you mentioned
I
data. Sorry.
to Arif, a lot of the time he says that you should not be a head of growth, you should be a head of spaghetti. You have everything. So he calls me head of spaghetti.
I'd second him on that. Because I mean there's so many things. Even if I wanted to make a note of all those things and touch base with you on each and every one of those, mera nahi khayal mein kar pata because it was so much and I just couldn't match pace. So but again, you mentioned data. So how do you use data, and how important it is for businesses in Pakistan in general, tech businesses and the businesses that are not tech savvy, to rely on data for the growth of the business? Because I mean, I
Data.
say that because मुझे पाकिस्तान में कभी ऐसा लगा नहीं. There are two things that I have seen it dearth of in Pakistan. One is consumer service, and the other is data collection.
Yeah. So if I talk about data, we talk numbers in now. If there is
Mm-hmm.
no numbers in the conversation, then we really don't care about what you are saying. So by data is like almost every decision making in LAM and outside LAM. The one
Mm-hmm.
thing that I would give example of is the textile industry के अंदर जो एक सबसे बड़ी चीज़ है, that's a wastage of overproduced non-sellable clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Raw particles and everything. That wastage, with the help of technology and data, when we do protect the numbers of what is the estimated demand for each design
Mm-hmm.
to the vendor. So, for example, if you are a vendor and you are registered at LAM, you have 30 products for sale, and you get X impression on everything. We
Mm-hmm.
would tell you that which product have the predictability to sell how much of amount in next 30 days, so you can
Right, right.
align your production accordingly, and not actually produce uh, the products that are not sellable, that are not in customer demand.
Mm-hmm.
So the highest example that I would quote is the prediction of the stock that the vendor has to produce.
Right, 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 right. So everything is, मुझे जो लगता है आजकल, और वो जो आपने कहा भी है कि इट्स क्वाइट डेटा सेंट्रिक दीस डेज, और वो जैसे आपने बताया कि वेंडर के साथ मैनेजमेंट में भी डेटा इज इन्वॉल्व, सो यू टॉक नंबर्स विद नंबर्स एट लाम. सो
Yeah.
अच्छा, मुझे एक बात बताएं मलीहा, हाउ डू यू सी द फ्यूचर ऑफ ऑनलाइन रिटेलिंग फॉर फैशन प्रोडक्ट्स इवॉल्विंग इन पाकिस्तान? किस तरह से लग रहा है? डू यू थिंक देयर इज, or if so, how much of a space is there for more companies like LAM to jump in?
That's an untapped market. I would say so. LAM has a huge advantage of starting at the right time. And when we talk about a market as a space, then it's always good to have like worthy rivals with you. Actually being able to learn from each other, to
Hmm.
compete with each other. So that would be great if someone is there, and the opportunity and the market size is huge. So it's not like one can actually dominate anything. If we do so, that would be great. And we believe that we will, with the principles that we are following, the reliability and the discovery part, with the exact vision that we are heading towards.
Mm-hmm.
But the market size and everything, I think digitization is the future, and everyone will be entering into this market sooner or later, be it a brand or a marketplace or anything, or a retailer, anything. The future is digitization of the things.
The future absolutely is digitization, of course, but लेकिन मुझे अभी भी लगता है कि पाकिस्तान में अगर if मतलब आपके पाकिस्तान में मार्केट जो है फिर भी वो लिमिटेड हो जाती है, बिकॉज ऑफ कोर्स एक तो अडेप्टेबिलिटी रेशो तो अच्छा है पाकिस्तान का. वी अंडरस्टैंड दैट मेनी पीपल हैव एक्सेस टू मोबाइल फोन्स. प्लस इन दिस सिचुएशन आईड से कि जहाँ पे आप बता रहे हो कि मतलब इवन इफ समबडी वांट्स इज इन द मार्केट फॉर ए प्रोडक्ट दैट इज अराउंड 1200 rupees or maybe 50,000 or more, so they can find it on LAM. So अगर वो buying power भी है लोगों के पास, but they are not able to access internet, या उनको पता नहीं, if they're not educated. So what do you think would be the solution to that? Have you been working on that as well, कि यार जहाँ पे हम कोशिश करेंगे awareness create की जा सके इसमें कि यार आओ मोबाइल पे आओ, टेक्नोलॉजी पे आओ, इंटरनेट पे आओ?
I think the awareness and everything part, if I talk about my household, so the Gen Z generation coming in,
Hmm.
they teach their parents and the millennials everything. They tell them how do we place order and everything. So a lot of the time that we would receive a call on our customer care, there would be a lady speaking who have no idea how to place an order, right? They would be asking
Okay.
our representative to
Yeah.
place an order for them because they want to buy crimson, which is
Wow.
nowhere available but lam. So we do place an order for them, then we do educate them how do they place it. If I
Mm-hmm.
talk about my mother always learned from me how do I order. अब मैंने ऐसे कर लिया तो इसको ऐसे कैसे करना है, ये वो.
Yeah.
So I would say the Gen Z generation coming in taking over, it would solve the problem altogether. They are very advanced in terms of technology,
Hmm.
and everything. So I think that would solve it.
Absolutely. Plus, I think जो आपने बात की कि even if somebody doesn't know how to place an order online, so your customer support representative would help them do that. और मेरा ख्याल है this is
Yeah.
one of the reasons कि आप कभी भी जो human touch है उसको you cannot take that out of equation, can you?
We cannot. The kind of satisfaction people get talking to our customer representative and actually realizing that LAM exists. A lot of the time when LAM started, this was the question, where is your outlet, for example? And we would say we have no outlet, we are an online marketplace, and
Yeah.
people won't understand what that is. So making people realize that we are a reliable source and you can buy
Yeah.
from us was a heavy task. But still, this thing is that a lot of the 30 plus age, they do want to talk to our customer service representative when they place an order.
Hmm.
So there is an extensive call lines going on. A lot of the time, there is a whole room of 50 plus people who will be on calls, making sure and making people realize that they will get their orders. We sell
Right.
authentic clothes
Yeah.
and everything. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. I hope that the experience of people have been great with us.
इट हैज़ बीन क्योंकि कुछ लोगों को जिनको मैं जानता हूँ उनका तो एक्सपीरियंस बहुत अच्छा रहा है एंड आई थिंक इट इज़ समथिंग दैट शुड बी अप्रिशिएटेड अ लॉट कि एक बीइंग वेरी टेक सेवी you still have an arm that looks after consumer services. But by the way, uh, मुझे लगता है कि पाकिस्तान में जो है एक बहुत बड़ी रीजन दैट आर बिजनेसेस आर नॉट स्केलेबल, आर बिजनेसेस डू नॉट सर्वाइव, आर स्टार्टअप्स डू नॉट सर्वाइव दैट मच इज के वी आर नॉट वेरी कंज्यूमर ओरिएंटेड. मतलब आई विल बी वेरी ब्लंट, मुझे लगता है कि द most of the businesses or most of the startups that I've come across, and most of the people that I have met who are working in all these organizations, they're not focus towards consumers कि यार अगर consumer की कोई pain आ गई है तो let's go an extra mile and try and solve that and turn that person into a very loyal consumer of ours. So what are your opinions on overall consumer servicing in Pakistan? Let's leave LAAM outside of that of this क्योंकि मुझे पता है कि LAAM तो अच्छा कर रहा है, we can see that.
We have suffered a lot from this thing of reliability.
अच्छा.
I would bring LAM as an example in it, and
Okay.
I would not the designer and everything.
Hmm.
Back in the days when we started LAM, there was a designer in Eid clothes. Our AM department was connecting with the vendor that the
Hmm.
clothes are not here and how do we deliver it to the consumer now. It's Eid and they ordered for Eid. And the response was, our clothes are like timeless. What if they will get delivered after Eid? They'll wear it after Eid. It will be for generations and everything. And people, and I was like, how can you think like that? Someone has ordered it for Eid to wear it on their occasion. And a lot of the Facebook groups that you will see, like VOC and
Yeah.
the consumer focus group, and
Yeah.
the kind of complaints coming there is like any business, not only brand or not only any fashion house and everything.
Yeah.
Any business is just there for numbers, and
Hmm.
and I think that is a major lack of businesses not having the vision. The vision is important when you are setting up anything, any businesses, any venture.
Hmm.
So I remember going back to the history lesson of mine, Martin Luther King. He gave the "I have a dream" speech, not
I
that I
have a
have a
dream.
plan speech.
Hmm.
So it's dream that changed the course of history. Having a vision is important. So when you have a vision, you actually know what you are working for, why
Hmm.
you are here. The clear sense of purpose, the clear sense of the just cause that you are in this market helps. That has helped me immeasurably. That helps the other businesses who have the vision. But when people are just working for their financial targets and goals, then
Hmm.
a lot of the time, obviously, they are not consumer focused and everything because in the end, the financial number matter. But when you actually set up the vision, then you stay on the course, then you don't get distracted by the shiny objects,
Hmm.
then you don't overbook your products if you don't have the capacity to deliver, because your vision is not to actually crunch numbers, your vision is to serve
Yeah.
the market,
Yeah.
for example. So I think this is the lack of vision, more importantly, when we talk about being consumer centric.
You're absolutely right, absolutely. Because मुझे 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 खुद ये फील होता है कि मतलब अगर आप मतलब उसको वैसे भी ले लो यार, how can you ensure that you have good numbers if you are not consumer centric? Agar aap, if you're not overseeing the problems that the consumer might be facing or a consumer is already facing with you, why he or she is ever going to come back to you to make another
Yeah.
purchase? So, all right, bilkul say, bilkul say. Thank you so much, Maliha. It's been a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much for letting us know so much about LAAM. और मेरा ख्याल है हमने काफी details जो हैं उसकी explore की हैं about your market, about the cards, about the consumer services, about so much that goes on at LAAM. And I think that calls for another podcast sometime in the future, inshallah. But I hope कि उस time पे हम आपके साथ जो है face to face बैठे होंगे. But once again, thank you very much, and see you very soon.
Thank you for your time, Amar. It was really nice talking to you. And as we grow as a marketplace, our vision is to a serve the customers, the consumers, and b actually educate the people on their rights of actually making their experience better when they are getting delivered with the product that they actually ordered, when they are getting the product on the exact timeline that they actually ordered. So it's a top notch to the experience in Pakistan for consumers altogether, where people do actually realize that there is one example that actually delivers on time. So a lot of the time, people start behaving nicely when you see us example set in front of you. So we have experienced a lot of industry changes in front of us that was set by LAM, and now a lot of the people are following that, making sure that they are delivering to the customer, because there is no survival. A lot of the time that people order from us would say like हमें तो designer ने deliver नहीं किया था, but
Mm-hmm.
we are ordering you because we believe that you will order. So that
Mm-hmm.
belief is what make us going, that belief is what make us moving ahead and expanding globally in the market.
I think yours is an example that should be taken as a benchmark, and should be, people, businesses should follow in the footsteps of LAM in terms of consumer servicing, in terms of many other things, as a matter of fact. So, because as you mentioned and as we discussed extensively, you cannot grow as a business अगर consumers आपकी preference नहीं है तो. So,
Yeah.
आई थिंक इस तरह की बहुत कम एग्जांपल्स हैं, एंड मुझे लगता है कि बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम्स पाकिस्तान के ओवरऑल इकोनॉमी के प्रॉब्लम्स जो हैं उसका भी आपको रूट नज़र इसी में आ जाएगा, बिकॉज वी हैव हैड बैड बिहेवियर्स, आई बी वेरी ब्लंट अबाउट इट अगेन. और अगर उसको फिक्स कर लिया जाए तो मेरा ख्याल है कि पीपल वुड वांट टू डू मोर बिजनेस विद पाकिस्तानी पीपल, बिकॉज दे हैव फेथ इन अस. मेरा ख्याल है कि बिजनेसेस जो हैं वो जनरली फेथ और ट्रस्ट के ऊपर चलते हैं. अगर ये चीज़
Yeah.
मिसिंग हो जाए so then it takes you centuries and centuries to build that trust again for the businesses to
I would
grow.
say it's a commitment business. If you hold your commitment, if you deliver on your commitment, then there is no like actual hurdle in front of you that you cannot like surpass. Then it all comes to your strategy and planning, but holding the commitment that you had
Hmm.
make is essential in everything. Be it our politics, be it our any business, be it fashion, anything. The
It
commitment is the real issue of Pakistan.
goes back to integrity. कि integrity अगर
Yeah,
है तो फिर ये commitment होगी तो business होगा. बिल्कुल सही,
yeah,
बिल्कुल सही. Thank you once again, Maliha. It was such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you once again for taking time out for Out Loud with Amar. And I hope that as an industry, this sector will grow a lot and will help benefit Pakistan.
inshallah. We hope so.
Take care.